Hello and welcome. My name is Clint Scheirer, and I am the manager of account implementation with Apple Leisure Group. That's just a fancy term for I teach travel agents and agencies how to best book packages for their clients and VACs while making the most money. Today's video came out of a conversation that I had with Pitou's travel agency's vice president, executive Kim Terrio. She mentioned that a lot of agents were having some issues with the proper process for how to price match a travel impressions reservation made in VACs with competitors such as Expedia and or Cheap Caribbean. Frustrations where a price match might have been submitted to the team, and there was something that the team said was missing when the agent got the response back, and there was just a little bit of frustration. So my goal today is to teach you the quickest, most efficient, and best way to do a price match with TI and VACs. So to start out, I just want you to remember that Travel Impressions and all Apple Leisure Group brands, which you can find here in the supplier section on the homepage of VAX Vacation Access, we only do same-day price matching. So what that means is when you book a package in Travel Impressions within VAX, we will price match or attempt to price match and give you the best possible package price for your client, as long as the screenshots from the competitor that you are trying to match us with is from within 24 hours of that reservation being booked in VAX. So for example, if I look at my clock down in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, today is November 27th, 2019, and the time is 12:34 p.m. If I was to book a reservation right now, and let's say it completed at 12:34 p.m., the 24-hour clock has started, and we need to make sure that we submit our screenshots from the competitor's website with those timestamps located in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, showing in the picture, proving that those screenshots are coming from within a 24-hour period of when the reservation was booked. I can't tell you how important that is, and it's something that you're going to want to make sure that you include as you're moving forward with the price match process. So first, let's say a client comes to you and says that they found a great price on Expedia. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to Expedia's website and enter in the exact criteria of the package that they're trying to look for. So if they were leaving from, let's say, Boston, Massachusetts airports, going to Cancun, Riviera Maya, you have the departing date. For all of our examples today, we're going to use the 8th of June 2020, returning 7 days later on the 15th of June 2020, 2 passengers, 1 room, and they're going to be adults. Click on search. What this is now going to do is it's going to take you through the process on Expedia where you would need to select your hotel and then also your flights. Those are 2 very big components in a package that you're building for the clients. And the key factor here is that you need it all to be the same, right? If it's a certain type of room category within your package, it needs to be the same room category, same hotel. Certain flights are going to have different classes of service that will cost different amounts, and what you are packaging on VAX through TI needs to be the same as what you are pulling up and taking the picture for with your clients on Expedia. One thing I do want to point out, notice it is set to 2 adults right now. A common mistake that I often see when people submit price matches is that they won't change the number of travelers when they're building out what they need to take pictures of on the competitor's site to the correct number of passengers that they're looking into in VAX. So let's say in VAX, you just booked a package for 3 people, and the client comes to you with a price saying, oh, this is what I found for 3 people for that exact same package. Always go to the competitor's site and build it out yourself, because that client may have just left it at the default 2 individuals, and that's why they're getting a lower price for the package. But from here, you're going to select your actual hotel that you want to book with. We have plenty of options here. So, use the filters or actually type in the hotel that you're looking for in this package. So I'm going to go down and we are going to select, see if I can get Breathless Riviera Maya. You can always actually select or type in the name of your property. So we got Breathless Riviera Cancun. Click on Go. And then that property will pull up for you to book. Now, to move forward in the process, you are just going to click on the name of that resort. Expedia is going to, do its thing. And it's going to give you some of the room categories. This is where you need to make sure that the room category that you are price matching us with is the same. So if it's the Allure Junior Suite Ocean View Double that your client said had a great price on Expedia, that's what you're going to need to make sure that you pull up when you're booking in Vax Vacation Access. I'm going to click on Select, and then it's going to take me to my flight selection screen. Now, the really important part here is that we need to be able to not only view our class of service, but we need to select our flights. Now, to actually get there, you can look at the details and baggage fees for that flight, and that is where you are going to be able to see what class of service they are selling. If Coach B is the flights with the class of service that you are selecting on Expedia, it's going to need to also be the same class of service that you select on Vax. And I'm going to show you how to select and actually go in and choose the class of service when you're building your package in Vax in just a moment. So the same thing for here. You see Coach B is what it is for the second leg of that flight. And I'm going to click on Select so that I can move on to the next portion. Now it's going to want me to get my return flight back to Boston on June 15th. Once again, if you click on Details and Baggage Fees, that's where you can see the class of service that's being offered. I'm going to click on Select and select this fare. Now the part that you need to take a picture of, or a screenshot is what it's known as, is going to be coming up next. You can see that the flight is here. So is the total package price that the client's viewing. Right now it says that you can upgrade your flight to basic economy, and that is not what you probably are going to choose. It's an option that you can do, but most likely, more often than not, your client is going to want that main cabin coach, because we cannot price match basic economy. Nor is basic economy for everybody. Some clients are going to want to be able to select their seats. Sometimes there's certain things that you can't get on basic economy that you can with the main cabin. Or maybe they want it to be able to be refundable if they need to cancel. That is not going to be available on basic economy. So you will need to make sure that you upgrade your flight, because this is the default for Expedia, is to put you in that basic economy fare. So I'm going to upgrade to the first main cabin option. It is going to be $60 more, and it says that it's added. Okay, so now you can see that I've changed from basic economy to my new coach class, and it has all of that information of what's included in there. So now when I go up to see, I want to show my flight and baggage details. That is where it tells you the economy and coach package price. This is what we need to see when you're taking your screenshot. Now, if you're on a Windows computer, I love to use what is known as the snipping tool. It's a program that's available on pretty much all Windows operating systems. If you have a Mac or an Apple technology product, not Apple Vacations, Apple like Steve Jobs, Apple, iPod, that kind of thing. There is another way that you may be taking a screenshot, and I've included in the email I sent over to Kim 2 short videos. One's like a minute long, the other one's 5 minutes long, explaining the different ways that you can take a screenshot when you are on one of those 2 operating systems. My preference when I'm using Windows is to use this snipping tool, because when I click on the word new, it actually turns my screen a very foggy, kind of opaque, and I can left click on my mouse. You can see that my mouse cursor has now turned into a crosshairs. And when I hold down my left mouse clicker and drag, I create a red box. And wherever I drag that red box, anything inside of that box is going to be captured in the shot that I'm going to be sending over to the price match team. One thing you do need to include is that time and date stamp in the bottom right-hand corner to prove that this picture is coming from within 24 hours of when you booked your TI package. So I'm going to release it. And now, after leaving my finger off that mouse clicker, I have taken a picture of the total package price, which includes the date, timestamp, and also the economy class of service, which is what we need. From this point, if I have an email, it doesn't matter if you're using Gmail or whatever it may be, I'm going to actually pull up my information on my Outlook. I use Outlook email to send out emails. With the snipping tool, you have the ability to click on this little picture that says copy. And now I've copied this picture. If I click my mouse cursor inside of the body of my email, I can either right click on my mouse and paste that picture in there, Or if you're a person that likes shortcuts, you usually, after copying a picture, can press Control V on your computer desktop keyboard. Or if you have a laptop, you can use it there as well, and you'll be able to send that picture over to Pricematch. Now, if you want to make it smaller, you just kind of drag the top left-hand corner of the screen. And this is the first thing that you would need to show the clients, or not the clients, the Pricematch team, if you wanted to submit a price match. Now, some things that you're going to want to also include in there is, any other components that you may need to price match with this. So not just the class of service and the date and time, but also any of the hotel information. Right now, I can't see the hotel information in that one screenshot that I sent. So I may need to scroll down below the flight information so that I can also take a picture of that great information for the hotel and room category. So you're actually taking 2 screenshots to get all the information you need to get this package price total. And what we need from here is the number of nights, the dates that they're staying, and the room category. So with this and the previous screenshot that you took, you're going to be able to paste this in your email as well. I like to just scroll down below here, get my mouse clicker below my first picture, and you can either, like I said, press right click, paste, or you can press Control V, and that will also put that second photo in there for us to see what you've done. All right, and that's it. That's what you do. Now, if you already have a reservation built with Travel Impressions, which you will need to actually complete a reservation and get a reservation number in VAX to submit your price match, because we can't change anything until you've actually gone in and built your TI package, you will need to put that Travel Impressions reservation number in there. So I'm just going to make up a reservation number. We're going to say it's 0567 Q Y and then TP, because a lot of Travel Impressions reservations will end in the letters TP. And then you can just say price match, Boston, Cancun, 2 packs. Packs is for passengers, and then I might just say dates, June 8th to June 15th, 2020. That's probably even more information than you really need, because they'll be able to pull up this little section right here and see what it is that you're trying to price match when they pull up your reservation. So that's how it is with Expedia. Because Expedia shows the class of service, it needs to be shown on your screenshots for your price match. All right, next, I had the question come up when Kim and I were talking. What if it's like Cheap Caribbean? And Cheap Caribbean doesn't show the air class of service. Sometimes agents that are a part of your agency have submitted price matches and it gets rejected and they don't know why. What it is like all OTAs, online travel agencies, Expedia, Cheap Caribbean, that base flight price is always probably going to be that basic economy, right? And we can't price match basic economy. So you have to actually change and upgrade that room or that flight category to the main cabin, and that is what we need to be able to see in the screenshot, that you've changed it from basic economy to the main cabin. To do this, I've actually put in Boston to Cancun, departing on the 8th, returning on the 15th, 1 room, 2 adults, exactly what we did on Expedia. So clicking on search, it's going to take me through the same process here. All right, so we got a great deal here. If I want to look for a particular room category, or if I want to look for a certain hotel like the Breathless, I can scroll down here and just see we got Secrets going on, Playa Mujeres, Secrets the Vine is amazing. I love Live Aqua, whatever it may be. So for this purpose, I'm just going to choose the first hotel right here, and I'm just going to click on select. So I got my hotel selected, 7 nights with airfare. I'm going to continue to select my flights. Now this is the part that's probably the most confusing, right? And I actually had to play around with this for a moment because I didn't know how to do it, because I don't normally go on Cheap Caribbean. But what you're going to have to do is select the flights you want. They're going to be at the basic economy option, and after you click on select, it'll give you the option to select the main cabin or to choose basic economy. So let's say this was the times that my clients wanted to travel, 7 a.m. to 1:20 p.m. I like this. I click on select, and then you have the option to move away from the basic economy and click on upgrade to main cabin. It's only about $10 more, guys, and that is where I am now able to select my room at that new price with the main cabin flight options, and I'm no longer stuck with the basic economy, which can't be price matched. So from here, when I go continue with my booking, right? It's going to want to ask if I want to do travel protection. You can do that. But when I click on flight information, that is what they're looking for right here where it says main cabin. That shows us that you have actually changed from the basic economy and you have the main cabin price. So when you take this screenshot right here, that's what you want to take a picture of. You want to take a picture of the flight information. It says main cabin. In addition to that, if you want the full details, you can click on that and it's going to give you a side-by-side kind of picture of your flight legs, which isn't necessary. I think what you see right here would be enough. Now, if I say I don't want travel protection and just continue on to checkout, it's going to have the section where you would put in your date of birth and all that stuff for the client, but you can go flight information, hotel information, and you might need to take more than one screenshot of this, always ensuring that you keep inside of that the date and time stamp so we can prove that you're sending us stuff from within 24 hours of the date that you booked. Cool. So right now we are at about 16 minutes. In the last part of our presentation, I want to go into VAX. I want to go into that new Travel Impressions agent store because we've updated it maybe since the last time that you've been on there. It looks a lot like our other brands, more user-friendly, easier to access information, and there's a few things inside of here that will be of use to you when price matching. So first, there's a price match chat, and when I click on this chat is always going to be available, and it says, hey, can I have your first name? And you can chat back and forth with a live person, and they will talk to you about what you need to submit. They'll even give you the information of who you submit this price match to, all of that great stuff. So they can walk you through the entire process. That's one option that you have. The other thing is, well, what do I do if I don't use the chat? Who am I going to contact? Well, when you make that actual reservation, here's an example of a reservation I made. Right up on the very top, directly across from your reservation number, there's a button that says Price Match. And this has all the information that you need. Right now we're at about 17 minutes and 30 seconds into our training, and you can see that it says some things. So first, you're going to email the email address listed below. It is pricematch@travimp.com. They are super darn quick, guys. It is 3 business hours or less that they're going to get back with you. And as long as you have all of those components, right, the hotel details, the room type, the air details, class of service, if it shows. Remember, Treat Caribbean, it doesn't show the class of service. You just need to show that you're in the main cabin, which will happen when you switch over to the main cabin selection. And then also the timestamp from the competitor site. That just means you're taking the picture and showing the timestamp in the bottom right-hand corner. As long as everything matches up, apples to apples, you're good. You're in the clear. We're going to give you that lower price. We're going to tell you not to change your reservation, because if you make any changes before we are able to adjust the price of this package, you're going to run into the risk of us not being able to complete the price match. Because if anything changes before we go in and make that change, we have to stop and say, sorry, the reservation's not the same anymore. Please resubmit your price match now that you've made this change. So the biggest thing is, how do I figure out my class of service when I'm building a package with TI? And ultimately, when you're on that Travel Impressions main page, or even if you're on the main page of VAX, go to the section that is your booking engine and scroll down to where it says Advanced Search. This Advanced Search page is going to ask you some very simple questions like normal. So coming out of Boston, we'll keep going into Cancun. We'll do departure date, same thing, June of 2020. We'll even leave on the 8th, coming back after 7 nights on the 15th. 1 room, 2 adults. Add that CFAR, cancel for any reason, travel protection, coming in December before the end of the year. We're going to be moving to a 1 ALG travel protection that is very similar with a few extra perks to the cancel for any reason travel protection. So you guys are in good shape. Now there's 3 extra options for you to tailor your package before clicking on search. You want to open up the flight section and change this button from shop by price to shop by schedule. Then you can go in and select a specific airline or just leave it on all airlines. Notice that coach is the cabin preference that it's locked to right now. Number of stops, you can search by any number of stops. I like to just keep it generic. Make sure that schedule is what you've selected and then click on search. What this is going to do, instead of taking you right to the hotel availability screen and pulling flights that are at the lowest class of service, you're going to be able to see your outbound flight and your return flight, and you'll then be able to go in and choose the class of service that matches what your clients saw on the competitor site. All right, now that this is open, let's kind of take a look at it and show you what I mean. So outbound flight, return flight. You, if you want, can sort by carrier name. All you got to do is click on the name of the carrier link up at the top, and it's going to sort it alphabetically. So we're starting up here with Aeromexico. I could go back from United all the way up alphabetically in reverse. But let's say it was a United flight that we were looking at. By clicking on View Class, this little plus button down here, it shows you the number of seats that are left available at a specific class of service. So we know that Class B, even though we were looking at a different airline on Expedia, was one that we saw pop up. If you click on that Class B, you are saying to the system, coming out of Boston, going to Chicago, I want Class of B service because that's what I'm price matching with my competitor on Travel Impressions. So now the second leg of the flight needs to be the same class of service that's on your competitor. So if you saw that maybe that last class of service that was available was you need to make sure that U is now selected. So it's going to have B class on that first flight, U class on that next flight, and then you need to do the same for your return flights. So opening up, let's just say this was the return flight we wanted. I would go in and select the class of service that matches what was available on the competitor site. I'm all ready to go, and then you click on price selected flights. That's how you move forward, complete the reservation once you select the same room category that your competitor was showing. And once you have that reservation number, you can then move forward, take your screenshots from Expedia, take your screenshots from Cheap Caribbean, whatever you're price matching us with, and you can submit it for, in my opinion, the best and easiest way for you to get that price match approved. All right, so what are some common pitfalls that people fall into? First, and I've said it multiple times on this webinar or training, they forget to include this date and timestamp in the bottom right-hand corner of their computer screen in their screenshots. We need that to prove that you're not taking this picture a week later or several weeks before and trying to get that price. Not that we distrust you or anything like that. It is a policy that we keep to ensure our integrity with our suppliers. So just know that that is very important. Another thing is missing that class of service. So a lot of you with Cheap Caribbean will never have the class of service, but like we said, we need to see that on those flights it says main cabin. That's what's important there. When we're on Expedia, we actually need to be able to see the air class of service that's right here. That's another reason that price matches may be declined. So definitely ensure that you're showing that print screen in the class of service and showing that you've upgraded to main cabin. Also, ensure that your print screens are readable. There are some images that you put into an email that will be very, very tiny and our people won't be able to expand it. And if they do, it looks really blurry. I will tell you right now with Windows, if you use this snipping tool, it will be super clear and really easy to read. So that's going to be your best bet on Windows. And then, like I said, I'm going to be including the Mac and the Windows videos inside of the email I'm sending over to Kim. All right. The other reason that we sometimes do not approve price matches is because the online travel agency that you're price matching us with is with a hotel that does not have what we consider a instant price match. So let's see if we can move forward here. And I'm going to go to the hotel availability screen while booking this package and show you what I mean. All right, so we're in here. It chose the flights that we wanted to based on the class of service. And I can see that the hotel that was selected is the Breathless Riviera Cancun. It's the Allure Junior Suite Ocean View King. That's what we were looking at on Expedia. Perfect. Well, if I click on the hotel availability screen and I go through the different hotels that are offered, when we get there, you're going to see a indicator that is the color blue. Okay, that blue indicator, the instant OTA price match, I'm just going to read it right off so that you know what it means. When it says instant OTA price match, hotels include an auto price match against online travel agencies. That's OTAs, Expedia, Cheap Caribbean. You will be capped with your commission at 10% on price matches with these OTAs versus other vacation companies that you may price match us with. But when you see this blue, when it says instant price match, that means that we as a company, when we get your screenshots, as long as everything matches up, we don't need to reach back out to that hotel and ask if we can price match it. If we already have that little indicator, it means that we have gone to that hotel in advance and said, hey, as long as the travel agent makes sure that everything's exactly the same with the competitor's package, can we just go ahead and approve it? And they said 2 thumbs up, yes, go ahead. So when you see that blue indicator, that means that as long as you submit the price match and everything matches up, you're good to go and we'll approve it. Sometimes agencies will try to price match us with a hotel that is not an instant OTA price match. Really quick, I'm just going to go down to some of these 3-star options. You can see that Grand Oasis, all inclusive, not a instant price match hotel. So if you were to try to price match us with this, still a great property. You might qualify a client and realize that that's the perfect place for them to go. But if you do need to price match us, this is an instance where we would have to reach out to the hotel if everything matched and make sure that everything works. So that could be an instance where the price match might not instantly be approved. Even if everything matches up, we still have to get permission from them. So the very last thing is that if it's a non-refundable hotel rate, we can't price match it. We provide non-refundable rates because so do the OTAs, and we want to make sure that they're on our inventory in case a client insists on getting that price from you. Even if you tell them, hey, for $20 more, you get the rate that is refundable. It's a better experience in case something should happen. But they say, no, I need this non-refundable rate. That's fine. Just know that you won't be able to price match something that says non-refundable. And you're going to be able to see that non-refundable rate. It'll say that right here in the room's description. And it'll also tell you multiple times before you're done working a package. So guys, that is really everything that I wanted to make sure I covered with you guys on Price Match. You may have some other questions, and that's perfectly fine. Some great people to reach out to for you, and I am going to go back to my TI reservation here. The best Price Match email to reach out is pricematch@travimp.com. And in addition to that, if you guys do have any questions, once again, my name is Clint Scheirer. I also go by Clinton, so you decide. I'm an account implementation manager, recently promoted, so I could change that if I wanted to. And then don't forget my email address and my phone number. If you just need a quick, hey, what do I do here, or what's going on? First, probably reach out to the Price Match team. They're going to have the most important and relevant information for you, but I will definitely try to give you the resource that you need and help you in any way that I can. So it was a pleasure to meet one of your guys' executives at the best of the best down in Secrets Maroma. I hope to see all of you guys in the near future at different Apple Leisure Group events, especially TI. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.